All right, there is a very critical level that Solana is coming up to right now as we speak. That for the short term, Solana really needs to hold, and I honestly don't know if it's going to be able to. That very critical level that we're coming up to right now is 100, the very round number of 100. It's right around here. And you can see that over the last few days, as Solana has been giving back some of its gains after reaching about 118. Over the last week, it's kind of been drifting downwards. It's had 6 or 7 red days to only 1 green day. And yesterday we tagged 100 almost to the point. The low shows 100.22. We currently stand at 102 and some change, but you can see across the board over here on the right, we are seeing more red in this newly begun day. According to TradingView, when my chart starts a new day, that was just about 2 hours ago, and we're already down another 2% in Solana. Of course, you know, crypto can turn around anytime. By the end of this candle, we could be very green, but it has not been so over the last week. And I want to talk about Solana in the short term and the long term and what the future may hold. All right, let's talk Bitcoin. We have to talk Bitcoin. I could take you around and around in charts on Solana, and we could do this examination and that analysis, but I'm telling you, the market is being run by Bitcoin and everything that happens to it. So we can look at the charts on Solana, and I will come back to them, I do guarantee. We'll talk about it in more depth. But we also need to understand what's really moving the market, and that is Bitcoin. And you can tell I've been doing other drawings and videos, and I will replicate that as I talk about Solana. All right, here's Bitcoin. You can see over the past week, right, that we are wrestling with this 52,000 area, roughly, level. We've been around this level for about a week now, 7 or 8 days. I have marked on this chart a gray area. This gray area is from about 50,300 to 50,600 roughly. You can see the bottom of the gray area is the tops of these wicks, and the tops of this gray area is the bottom of these wicks. So this is a level of support and resistance. The market has tested it, and once it finally broke through, it tested it again as resistance this time, and it looks like we may be headed down to this level again even today. As you can see, we're printing another red candle today so far in Bitcoin. So what we've got is this basically 50,000 level. We could break it. Okay, we could break this 50,000 level, and there's several reasons why we could. Let's go and listen to people smarter than me. Bitcoin Archive. Bitcoin, go away, please. Bitcoin is up 37% in 21 days. Consolidation here would be normal. Have patience. And their point is, we've all seen this fantastic run up we have seen in Bitcoin since the 23rd of January from a low back here of around 39,000. And we have just gone on this magnificent run from all these hundreds of millions of dollars coming into these ETFs. It's a demand supply situation. We have much more demand for Bitcoin than we have supply at this moment. And so price is going up. That's the way capitalism works. And since we are up at this level and have had this fantastic rise, traditionally, most technical indicators will tell you we are overextended or overbought or stretched out or whatever you want to call it. And we should drift down to the mean, which is lower, before we bounce off that and maybe take for a move higher, which we would all expect being in the positive crypto environment we are in now. So that is one reason. It's strictly a matter of averages. Most of the time when price gets extended in any financial instrument, it generally retraces back down to the mean and then can take off from there again. So that's why Bitcoin could fall. Number 2, the halving is coming up here in April. People know this. People have gone back and studied the historical patterns of Bitcoin before the halvings. April 20th is when this is expected. Historically, we have seen a run up before the halving. We have definitely seen that. Then about 4 to 6 weeks roughly before the halving, we will see a 10 to 20, 30% retrace in Bitcoin. And then we will consolidate and catch up with these doodles I've already drawn. We would generally consolidate through the halving and then take off a few months later, and thus begins the quote-unquote bull run in earnest. This has been the historical pattern of the Bitcoin price action before the previous halvings. People are expecting that again. And so they are asking questions out loud, which should be asked, like Wolf of Wall Street's. Bitcoin is correcting, he says. Is the pre-halving top in? Or is there more upside to come, and how far can Bitcoin correct? And he made a video on that on YouTube. I would think it's worth a watch. I have not watched it yet myself, but he is asking the question that I think we're all asking that are familiar with the pre-halving cycle is, are we about to enter the pre-halving Bitcoin retrace pattern? It's a lot of words together, but basically they're asking, are we about to fall? And there is some indication as we have topped out seemingly around 52,000 and we keep testing this level. This will be, if we drop down today, it will be our third time. Yesterday we almost hit the level, which means that at one point there was a big red candle, and then Bitcoin closed higher. Or that was 2 days ago. Yesterday we did the same and Bitcoin closed lower, and immediately today that level seems to be in Bitcoin's sights. So there's definitely some weakness or softness in Bitcoin, and that is why you're seeing Solana over the past week fall. Bitcoin pulls these altcoins up as Bitcoin pulls these altcoins up. These altcoins tend to randomly pop off a few days to a few weeks later. And Solana, it did trail Bitcoin by a little bit, although it did put in its low on the very same day as Bitcoin. But what you're seeing, as soon as Bitcoin kind of tops off, levels off, if you will, kind of gets to the end of its run up, these altcoins start to drift lower. They have lost the inertia that Bitcoin provided, and they're not strong enough, at least in this environment, to go up really on their own, because all the attention, all the money is in Bitcoin right now. So these altcoins are relying on Bitcoin to pull them up, which is why knowing what's going on in Bitcoin right now is so important for being able to gauge what's going on in Solana. It's because you have to be aware of the entire Bitcoin process, because that's frankly what's moving the markets right now. Thus, we're seeing weakness in Solana and coming up to this 100 level. Doesn't take a rocket scientist. How do they say it? Doesn't take a rocket surgeon or brain scientist? Yeah, doesn't take them to see that if Bitcoin falls below 50,000, this 100 level on Solana will be in jeopardy. And that we very well may be, especially if we go into some kind of pre-halving fall down to the mid 40s, we will probably drift back down Solana, back down to this 87, 88 level. And we'll have to see how Solana reacts then. Now, of course, we could wake up and see Bitcoin at 54,000 tomorrow, and all is well. But that's just not looking like that's what's going to happen. And that's really all we can base any kind of prediction on, is historical patterns and what's happening now and what has happened in the past when we saw what is happening now. And right now we're seeing softness across the market. So I bring this video to you for one reason only. Well, actually two. One, to encourage you. If you're new to crypto, don't be scared. Nobody likes to see their coins fall. Don't let it affect your behavior. This is the goal if you are in crypto for the long term, as Lady of Crypto says on Twitter. Do not overcomplicate the next 18 months. Your job is to accumulate, hold, and take profit heavily in 2025, which is the expected end of the bull run coming up. So that was the second point I'm making this video, to let you understand, even as, and first of all, come on guys, Solana. Solana? Boy, we should all be so lucky to be in Solana. I've been watching this thing since, look at these gains we've had back in October from 22. You're still 5 times higher than you were in October, basically. Still running a 500% increase. So, you know, I'm preaching to the choir. If you're in Solana, you're in a great position. You're in a great coin. You're in a great project. You might have to endure some more falling, because that's the market of crypto. Especially if we are entering this pre-halving retrace, you're going to see softness across all altcoins. I hate to use the word guarantee, but come on. I mean, in 2024, we all expect Solana to be above 200 at some point. I mean, let's just say it out loud, right? At some point in 2024, we all expect Solana to be above 200. So if Solana does meet our expectations and perhaps even breaks them, which it very well could, we're going to look back on these days when the price went from, I don't know, 116 to 80 over the course of 2 weeks and be like, huh. I mean, it wasn't fun back then, but boy, was it well worth it, right? So that's kind of what I'm thinking with Solana. Hold, be patient, watch, understand what's happening. Don't panic. If you understand, you shouldn't panic as much. Look, we all want to hit the panic button every now and again, but just hang in there. If you understand what's going on, as I've explained, let's watch the market with some understanding and some patience. and I think we'll all be just okay. Nope, I take that back. We'll be better than okay. That's my outlook on Solana. Check back. I will keep you updated. Take care.